May our Father, Messiah, and the Holy Spirit be with us. But Yahushua withdrew with his taught ones to the sea, and a great crowd from Galilee followed him, and from Yehuda, even from Yerushalayim, and from Edom, and beyond the Yarden, and those around Tisor and Tisadaan, a large crowd. I came to him when they heard how much he was doing, and he spoke to his taught ones that a small boat should be kept ready for him because of the crowd, lest they should press upon him. For he healed many, so that as many as had afflictions fell upon him to touch him. And the unclean spirits, whenever they saw him, fell down before him, and cried out, saying, You are the Son of Elohim. But he warned them many times that they should not make him known. And he went up on the mountain and called to him whom he wished, whom he prayed. And he went up I don't know why they have wish in this interpretation. And he went up on the mountain and called to him whom he prayed, and they came to him. And he appointed 12 to be with him, and to be sent out to proclaim, and to possess authority to heal sickness, and to cast out demons. And he appointed the 12 Shima'an, to whom he added the name Kepha, and Jacob the son of Zabadi, and Yehohanan the brother of Jacob, to whom he added the name Bina Regus, that is sons of thunder, and Andri, and Philip, and Bartholomew, and Mattathayu, and Taoma, and Jacob son of Alphai, and Tadai, and Shema'an the Canaanite, and Yehuda from Kirath, who did also deliver him up. And they went into a house, and again the crowd came together, so that they were unable even to eat bread, so that they were unable even to eat bread. And when his relatives heard about this, they went out to seize him, for they said, He is out of his mind. And the scribes who came down from Jerusalem said, He has Beelzebul, and he cast out demons by the ruler of the demons. And calling them near, he said to them in parables, How is Satan able to cast out Satan? And if a reign is divided against itself, that reign is unable to stand. And if a house is divided against itself, that house is unable to stand. And if Satan had risen up against himself and is divided, he is unable to stand, but has an end. No one is able to enter a strong man's house and plunder his goods, unless he first binds the strong man, and then he shall plunder his house. Truly I say to you, all the sins shall be forgiven the sons of men, and whatever blasphemies they speak. But he who blasphemies against the set apart Spirit has no forgiveness forever, but is subject to everlasting judgment, because they said, He has an unclean spirit. And his brothers and his mother came, and standing outside, they sent to him, calling him, and the crowd was sitting around him. And they said to him, See, your mother and your brothers are outside seeking you. But he answered them, saying, Who is my mother or my brothers? And looking about on those sitting around him, he said, See my mother and my brothers, for whoever does the desire of Elohim is my brother and my sister and my mother. And he began to teach again by the sea, and a large crowd was gathered to him, so that he entered into a boat to sit in the sea. And all the crowd was on the land facing the sea. And he taught them much in parables, and said to them in his teaching, Listen, see, a sower went out to sow, and it came to be, as he sowed, some fell by the wayside, and the birds of the heaven came and devoured it, and other fell on rocky places, where it had not much soil, and immediately it sprang up, because it had no depth of soil. But when the sun was up, it was scorched, and because it had no root, it withered away. And other fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked it, and it yielded no crop. And other fell on good soil, and yielded a crop that came up. And other fell on good soil, and yielded a crop that came up, grew, and And other fell on good soil, and yielded a crop that came up, grew, and yielded a crop, some 30-fold, and some 60, and some 100. And he said to them, He who has ears to hear, let him hear. And when he was alone, those about him with the 12 asked him about the parable, and he said to them, To you it has been given to know the secret of the reign of Elohim, but to those who are outside, all are done in parables, so that seeing they see, but do not perceive, and hearing they hear, but do not understand, lest they should turn, and their sins be forgiven them. And he said to them, Do you not understand this parable? How then shall you understand all the parables? The sower sows the world. These then are the ones by the wayside, where the word is sown. And when they hear, Satan comes immediately and takes away the word that was sown in their hearts. And likewise, these are the ones sown on rocky places, who, when they hear the word, immediately receive it with joy. Facts. And they have no root in them, and they have no root in themselves, but are short-lived. Then when pressure or persecution arises because of the word, immediately they stumble. Can't do that. And others are those sown among thorns. They are those who hear the word, and the worries of this age, and the deceit of riches, and the desires for other matters entering in, choke the word, and it becomes fruitless. And those sown on good soil are those who hear the word and accept it and bear fruit, some 30-fold, some 60, and some 100. Amen. And he said to them, would a lamp be brought to be put under a basket or under a bed? Is it not to be put on a lampstand? For whatever is hidden shall be revealed, and whatever has been kept secret shall come to light. If anyone has ears to hear, let him hear. And he said to them, take heed what you hear. With the same measure you use it shall be measured to you, and more shall be added to you who hear. For whoever possesses, to him more shall be given. But whoever does not possess, even what he possesses shall be taken away from him. And he said, the reign of Elohim is as when a man scatters seed on the ground, then sleeps by night and rises by day, while the seed sprouts and grows. He himself does not know how. He himself does not know how. For the soil yields crops by itself, first the blade, then the head, after that the completed grain in the head. It said, for the soil yields crop by itself, first the blade, then the head, after that the completed grain in the head. And when the crop is ready, immediately he puts in the sickle, because the harvest has come. And he said, to what shall we compare the reign of Elohim, or with what parable shall we present it? Like a mustard seed, which when it is sown on the ground is smaller than all the seeds on earth, and when it is sown, it grows up and becomes greater than all plants, and forms large branches, so that the birds of the heaven are able to nest under its shade. And with many such parables he was speaking to them the word as they were able to hear, and he was not speaking to them without parables. And when they were alone, he explained all to his taught ones. And on the same day, when evening had come, he said to them, let us pass over to the other side. And having left the crowd, they took him along in the boat as he was, and other little boats were also with him. And there came a great windstorm, and the waves beat into the boat, so that it was already being filled. And he was in the stern, asleep on the cushion. And they woke him up and said to him, Teacher, is it no concern to you that we perish? And having been awakened, he rebuked the wind and said to the sea, Peace, be still. Peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And he said to them, why are you so afraid? Have you not yet believed? And they feared exceedingly, and asked each other, who then is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him? Amen. And they came to the other side of the sea, to the country of the Gadareans. And when he came out of the boat, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit, who had his dwelling among the tombs. He had his dwelling among the tombs. And no one was able to bind him, not even with chains, because he had often been bound with shackles and chains, but the chains had been pulled apart by him, and the shackles broken in pieces, and no one was able to tame him. And continually night and day he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying out and cutting himself with stones. And seeing Yahushua from a distance, he ran and bowed down to him, and having called out with a loud voice, saying, what have I to do with you, Yahushua, son of the Most High El? Swear to Elohim not to torture me. For he said to him, come out of the man, unclean spirit. And he was asking him, what is your name? And he answered, saying, my name is Legion, because we are many. And he begged him very much that he would not send them out of the country. Now a great herd of pigs was there, feeding near the mountains, and all the demons begged him, saying, send us to the pigs, so that we enter into them. And he gave them permission, and the unclean spirits came out and entered into the pigs. They were about 2,000, and the herd rushed down the steep place into the sea, and drowned in the sea. And those who fed the pigs fled, and reported it in the city and in the country. And they went out to see what had taken place. So that's how you know that demons can enter into animals as well. So they came to Yahushua and saw the demon possessed one. And so they came to Yahushua and saw the demon possessed one, him who had this legion, sitting and dressed and in his right mind, and they were afraid. Wow, that's just beautiful, man. And those who saw it related to them what was done to the demon possessed one, and about the pigs. And they began to plead with him to leave their borders. And as he was entering into the boat, he who had been demon possessed begged him that he might be with him. And Yahushua did not allow him, but said to him, go home to your friends and report to them what the master has done for you and how he had compassion on you. And he left and began to proclaim in Decapolis all that Yahushua had done for him, and all marveled. And when Yahushua had passed over again by boat to the other side, a large crowd assembled to him, and he was by the sea. Stop and start again.